Big Z Reviews. No Exit is a new original Hulu horror film, like a thriller film that recently came out, and I had a lot of fun with it.
So what's your name?
Darby.
Sandy.
Ed.
I'm Ash.
Bars?
Do you have the Wi-Fi?
No, there's no Wi-Fi.
I got one bar by the tree for about 10 seconds.
So this was directed by Damien Power and mainly stars Havana Rose Liu, and she is a drug addict and she is in rehab, but then she gets a call that her mother is in the hospital and that she's dying. So she decides to break out of rehab and steal her doctor's car and travel to see her mom on her deathbed. And the problem is she has to travel through the mountains, and there happens to be a blizzard on the way. So she gets stuck, and she has to go to the visitor center to wait out the storm. And you kind of have like this whole thing with a bunch of mysterious strangers that are all in this visitor center, and then she happens to go outside, and she sees a little girl kidnapped in a van, and like she has to decide, like, but there's no reception, and there's like so she has to decide who in this visitor center is the one that kidnapped this kid. And then the thriller begins. And part of me was kind of annoyed that she just didn't go right in immediately and yell, "Hey, one of the people in here has a kid kidnapped in the van," and then let it all play out. But then the movie would be over pretty soon. And additionally, since things that were revealed later, the bad guy or guys or people do have guns. So I mean, that would have been a different kind of movie at that point. But it's really interesting. Like they did, like one of the guys wants to play bullshit, where it's like a bluffing game where you put the cards in there and then you can yell bullshit, but you think they're lying what they say they are. So you kind of get that kind of sets up the rest of the movie, like when people might be bluffing about stuff, and they have to figure out. They kind of also wait to introduce everyone. Danny Ramirez, David Richdahl, Dennis Haber, the guy from a lot of the commercials, and Dale Dickey. And then the kid is Mila Harris. But like there's, like I kind of liked a lot of that, the tension that these scenes cause. Then there's more like when she tries to try to get the kid free, and then thinks that there's the one bad guy, but then maybe there's more. And I think that like the movie likes the twist. I think this is based on a book, so that like maybe it's like if they have longer time, or maybe it'd be like more interesting as the book. But like the thing is, like they keep doing a twist and a twist and a twist. At a certain point, like one of the last twists, I'm like, oh come on, you didn't have to do that. I think it would have been fine without that last twist. But I understand, they want to make it exciting. But like the only thing, the one thing that bothered me the most about this film is that there's supposed to be a blizzard. Well, obviously this is like probably a micro budgeted film, and there's like, so they don't have the money to actually film in a blizzard or CGI a blizzard. So there's like a couple of snowflakes, and there's like a quarter of an inch on the ground. And I'm like, the road's closed for this? Like we just had like this past weekend, like in March, we had like a really big snowstorm at like 6 inches, and like it's really late for us. But I mean, like that's, and nothing canceled. I went to the movies like later that day, So it's like, I don't know, unless it's California and they're getting snow. That's the only place that would stop for this, and that the roads would close for that amount of snow. But that's just the limitations of the making of this film. But I really liked all the actors, and the actress especially, Havana, and like it's a thrilling film. Like there's a lot of like the play with like her and the bad people, like and the interaction between them are very tense, and there's a lot of great moments. And I like that the kid is vulnerable, but also maybe a bit of a brat. Like you find out, like there's some interesting stuff here, and I thoroughly enjoyed it. I probably give it like an 8.5 out of 10. But thanks for watching. If you want to see more of me, you can subscribe down below. Thanks.